السلام عليكم ورحمة الله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين.
Okay, we're reading from the Reasonings, the Third Way, and Indication. Whoever wishes a lasting success must follow the way established by God and know His way of acting. Otherwise, God's way of acting that manifests itself in nature will respond by causing any attempt to go to waste and condemn those who oppose it to respond by causing any attempt to go to waste. Oh, no. And condemn those who oppose it to extinction.
No.
To respond.
To respond by.
No, I think because that repeats the same sentence.
Is it?
And condemn those who oppose it to extinction in the deserts of nothingness.
I see.
The last sentence is repeated.
One. I see. That is different from mine. So what we understand, let's follow the reasoning here. Otherwise, let's follow from there.
Otherwise, God's way of acting that manifests itself in nature will respond by causing any attempt to go to waste and condemn those who oppose it to extinction in the deserts of nothingness.
I see. Right. Yes. Okay, we will come with you.
So, based on this fact, see and consider what subtle, genuine, and sensitive truths and realities there are on which the rules of the Sharia are based, and how impossible it is for human reason to discern these, and how sensitively the Sharia preserves the balance among what exists in the existing laws of creation and the operation of the universe.
Okay. Now come back and tell us what you understood from this paragraph. Can anybody summarize what we have been doing? Because it has been a long time. Yeah? What is the main subject?
We are continuing on with establishing the need of messengership in our lives.
Yes.
So starting off from our own existence, when we try to make sense of, why am I made to exist here? Like, what am I to do here? When our existential question surfaces, then we feel the need to getting answers to such questions. And so we seek out for help or, institutions or something. There must be answers. Like at the end of the day, we're not the only ones with these kind of questions. So obviously there must be answers. So we seek out to experts and everything. And in this whole journey and process, we get introduced to, we can call it institution of messengership, or it can be like a doctrine or like a school of thought. And okay, so it provides answers to our human questions if they have surfaced. And with that, throughout history, we've known that, you've heard of prophets, different prophets and everything. So the author now is introducing us specifically studying the messengership of a particular prophet, Muhammad, like what makes his messengership more appealing, and well, messengership in general connects to our human reality. And so we've been going over his journey of messengership that history presents to us, and then connect it with the divine speech, which is like an active and live speech. And so what is this? Yeah, so first of all, one has to establish within themselves that, hey, if I'm made, then I must have a maker, right? And this maker must speak to me, like now, not, when I was born, or it must be a live speech to me right now in my existence. Doesn't matter where I come from, what stage I'm in, what level I'm in. I can be a 5-year-old, I can be a college student, I can be a working professional, I can be a mom, dad, whatever. It's gotta speak to me right now, to my current state, my emotions, feeling, whatever thoughts I'm going through. And so I gotta establish within myself that, hey, my maker must speak to me. And so I feel that this indication now is walking us through. So whoever wishes a lasting success, first of all, we need to define what success is, right? So that's something we can work on, what does success means. Whoever wishes a lasting success must follow the way established by God and know his way of acting. So I must establish within myself that God must speak to me.
God must speak to you. It looks like it's a right answer, but why do you think God must speak to you? Because concerning what? Well, that point wasn't clear in my mind in my understanding. God must speak to you concerning what?
Concerning my existential questions.
Why do you need God to speak to you? It's concerning your existential question. Why do you need God to speak to you?
Because I'm always in the questions.
Sorry?
I always have questions.
Question.
Yeah, I'm always questions my existence and asking myself what I'm doing. It's good. Like I'm always questioning myself.
Which questions?
And my expectations of what I expect in life and what I see and experience, there's a contradiction there. I see the transience of things ending, death awaiting me, and yet I want eternal satisfaction, eternal happiness. And so because of these needs that I have, nothing that is part of this universe is able to satisfy them.
I see. This is an interesting point. These questions cannot find the answer in the existing world. Mm-hmm. So if we find the answer, if we could find the answer in the existing world, that is an answer from the creator of the world. There is no need for the speech or for another way of transmitting his information to human beings. Because I can get it, but existential questions don't have the answer within the universe. If someone says, well, I can get the answer within the universe, we will say, okay, tell us. Where is the answer? For example, well, how come this universe came into existence? Where is it? We find that the universe exists, but we don't know how it came into existence. Within the universe, there is no knowledge within the universe which answers to my question. Right? Do you get this? That's why we need an extra information from my creator or from the creator of the universe. Why do I need it? Because as a human being, I have the question. I am given the ability to ask the question. Get it? And since this ability, this potentiality or ability, if I work on it, it becomes ability. This ability forces me to ask the question. Is it an extra thing? No, that's how I am created, how I am made. So whoever made me with this ability must answer. And the universe is a source of information that's correct. I can learn a lot from the universe, but there are some human questions that I cannot get from the universe. How the existence happened. I'm not saying how it is created, it is a biased language. How come that the universe exists? And what is the purpose of its existence? And you pointed out, you presented the subject, but this was the only black point to me. This is a very important stage in reasoning. If we just jump into God must speak to me. Why? It's very simple. What I'm saying is very simple. Because I am made with the ability to ask the questions, and I am asking some questions for which I cannot find any answer within the universe. There's a contradiction. But I can see in the existence of the universe that there's nothing contradicting. Everything is purposeful. Everything is very wisely created. And there must be a wisdom in its creation. I say, I have the question, you enable me to ask the question, and there is no answer within the universe. What is going on? So I have to ask the maker, the source of existence of this universe, to give me the answer, to provide me with the answer. That's why we need messengership. Messengership means the one or the way I receive the message. Since I am able to understand the speech, since I can speak and respond, communicate through conversation, and there is another wisdom in this ability. We can speak, we can understand. Why? We can ask this question, why am I created with this capacity? And this capacity is very simple to understand. I can communicate with other people, but when I am communicating with other people through speech, I cannot get the answer from other people. If there was no explanation, if there was no disclosure from the creator of the universe, how the universe came into existence, what is the purpose of the existence of the universe, what is the purpose in my existence? These questions are not within the universe, so human beings cannot answer this question. Right? But still I am able to speak and I am able to understand the speech. Why should not this ability be utilized in getting my answer to my questions that for which I cannot find an answer within the universe? That's why I normally, as a human being, expect an explanation in the form of speech from the Creator. Why? He is the one who enabled me to speak and understand speech. So the explanation from the Creator, from the Maker of the universe, is expected to be in the form of speech, clearly stated and simply stated that everybody can understand. Simple. That's why speech must be simple. But they say to understand the Quran is very difficult. No. The message is very simple, very clear. Language is complicated because there are detailed explanations. Otherwise, the main fundamental answer to human questions are very simple. Simple in a simple way, stated in speech in a simple way. You are here to acknowledge your source of existence. Who made the universe? Where you came from and where you are going in your life story. It's very simple. That's what I understood from this. And the test here. What is the test? Okay, you come to me now, anyone. It says here, again, we can read the paragraph from the beginning again. Anyone, come on, be brave. Anyone, don't hesitate, don't be kind. Kindness doesn't help. Kindness just stops us from attempting. Come on, don't hesitate.
To read it again?
Don't be brave. So what are we going to do? We are going to study the text from the beginning now. Yeah. You have to follow it. Now don't wait for my command. Just do it as you need it.
Before jumping into the text, can I just ask a question? You know, we said that for me right now it's challenging to realize that the creator must speak. You know, like you said that it is expected that the explanation from the creator should be in the form of speech, verbal form.
Yeah.
How do you establish that?
Of course, in the form of creation, act. There's no answer. There's the universe. That's what we are studying in this paragraph.
Okay.
The nature of this universe, the creation, doesn't answer certain questions, certain human questions. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I must need another type of explanation, not in the form of action. In the form of action, the universe is complete, perfect order. Nothing is missing within the acting in order to give existence to the universe. Everything is perfect. Paul, now, is there any crack in there? Is there any missing point in the place? Everything is perfect. The order is perfect from the beginning to the end. Perfectly created. But there is no answer. So there must be another type of venue where I can receive the answer to my question. Now, what is left now? You can learn something through experience. Okay? Do you understand? By using the principles in the creation of this universe. You can learn. It's right or wrong. That's it.
That's right.
Let's establish this one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, through you can learn. And also you can learn how the other alternative is by speech, hearing the speech, learning the message. Not only by acting, by also explaining through speech. Now, by acting, universe is perfect, but doesn't answer certain questions.
So
the universe doesn't answer certain questions.
Our existential questions, the universe doesn't answer.
No, there is no answer in the universe. So the other alternative is that for us to learn something is speech. And I am enabled to speak, and I am enabled in my creation to understand the speech. Why not utilize it? If someone says, yes, we are enabled to speak, to communicate between ourselves, human beings, but within the universe, there is no answer. to my certain existential questions. So if I don't know, if you don't know what benefit the speech we practice between ourselves, still there is no answer. So this type of creation must be utilized as far as the human wisdom understands by the Creator, and I expect that the Creator must speak to me and disclose the answer to my questions. Because we have two ways of learning: experiment and narrating whatever your mind produces. It means transformation of knowledge. So transformation of knowledge between human beings does not help me understand my existential questions. But still it is a win. Why not that the Creator should not speak to me? It should speak to me and explain to me and use this way of communicating. That's why I expect from the Creator to speak to me, which is called divine speech. This is a critical point that we have to go through. Otherwise, we cannot explain why the messengers should bring a form of information from the Creator in the form of speech. Do you get it? If someone is not clear, please. This is a crucial point, and which is not very commonly used. I don't know whether you have ever heard of this explanation. It's not very common, but we have to understand it. Are you clear about this point? Everybody, everything. Clear? If not, say, we are here not to read pages and pages. We are here to make sure what we really believe, why we really believe. For example, we say, we believe that the Quran is the speech of God. Why? What is the speech of God? Right? What do you mean by speech of God? Here is the universe. What are you talking about? I have to have a satisfactory reasoning why I need it. Clear? If you are not clear, don't be shy.
Can I recap my reasoning in my head?
Okay, that's the good point. You are expert on this job.
No.
Summarizing and bringing back. Everybody is God gave a different talent. We have to use it. Yes, let me listen to you, and I must be as a human being satisfied.
Okay.
If I am not, I will let you.
Thank you. Okay. I have certain human expectations which cannot be met by the universe around me because of the nature of the universe. I long for eternal happiness, but everything is transient.
That's one point.
That's one point. And
Another point?
within me, I have questions that I just find within me, right? I don't seek for the questions; they just come to me, and those questions lead me to search for something that can satisfy my human desires. And
What are they? What are the human desires?
well, I guess eternity, right?
So you said eternity, that was a very fundamental one. What else?
Happiness.
Eternal
happiness, right?
Yes.
Eternal satisfaction in all the things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, everything for me at least stems down to the transience.
What else?
Purpose?
Meaning.
Exactly. Purpose in your existence,
right.
Meaning in your existence.
Otherwise, if I'm transient as a creation, then no matter what I strive for, it seems meaningless. So again, it's connected to eternity?
And
Because
also you said as against death. I think you said, or somebody said, because death is a beautiful creation. You said that. Somebody said, death is a beautiful creation. We should love death. But it doesn't mean that we should kill ourselves. No, we should love the creation of death. Only because of the creation of death, we look for eternal happiness, eternal existence. If there was no death, we would be satisfied with this creation only. Yeah, so thank God, thank the Creator that He created death. Yes, what else? One fundamental question I'm making. We talked about it. What else that human beings wonder, and there is no answer to it within the existing universe, in this universe.
oh,
Sorry?
how did I come into existence?
Yeah, how the things, not only I, everything in the how the universe itself came into existence. This is very fundamental question, because if you notice the materialist philosophers never talk. I tell this, and through my experience, it doesn't register. People don't appreciate the importance of it. Materialist philosophers never dare ask the question of the source of existence. Because as long as they insist to be materialist, and as long as they insist to interpret the creation or existence in terms of matter only, they have no answer. But human mind asks the question, where the existence came from. Then the universe says, I cannot be the source of my own existence. The universe says this. Okay? So come on. I have to do that. Yeah? I cannot create myself. I cannot give existence to myself, but I am sorry, it's a joke. As if I exist. The universe says I exist, doesn't it? But I cannot make myself exist by myself. What are you doing there? Do you see the contradiction? What are you doing there? When we ask you, what are you telling me? It says in a sarcastic way, I have a source of existence. Find out. Where is it? I'm not going to tell you. The universe said, no, I'm not going to tell you. The Christian is with me. But the universe is as if it is joking with me. It means it is really pushing me. I'm going to search for it. Ask for it. You need it. You wonder, what is the source of existence of everything? And what is the source of existence of the whole universe? The universe says, in a sarcastic way, you have to find out. I'm not going to tell you, but there is a source. You have to find out. That's why we need an extra explanation. But extra explanation should not contradict what the universe tells. For example, the universe tells, I am transient. So extra information should not contradict what the universe's message is to me, so that I will be confident. That's what this paragraph is emphasizing on. I will be confident that this extra information is from the one who created the universe, in which I am also created, in it. So it means I am created. So there should be no contradiction between what I learn from the universe, but at the same time, I cannot learn from the universe. This extra information must be in conformity with the message that I receive from the universe, supporting each other. But at this point, I'm repeating. In the form of action, I cannot find the answer to my certain questions. What is left? What are the ways of receiving message for human being? Somebody may not speak and do some actions and transfer the message to me. Yeah, through his face expression, physically. So some human feelings, these are created human feelings. For example, a mother loves her baby and treats her baby with utmost compassion, dies for it. That is from the creation again. This is, they call it intuition. We understand intuitive knowledge. But this is another subject. I'm sorry, I'm speaking. I always said I shouldn't speak too much. I do, unfortunately. Some people think that intuitive knowledge is enough. But they don't notice that intuitive knowledge is within the creation. For example, animals act in a certain way intuitively. Instinct, they call it. It means it is already encoded in their creation. It means it is an action. Action-wise of speech. Human beings, for example, want to help. But you don't really learn from the primary school or preschool teacher that you have to help the poor or the needy ones. It is with you. But they can organize you, they can encourage you, but it is within you. Even you have never been taught that you have to help the needy people or needy creatures. Go and ask a very small child, let's say 2-3 years of child, and if they see a kitten in the street without mother, what do they say? No one said that you have to, no one taught them 2 years old, 3 years old child. No one taught them you have to help the needy ones. But 2 years old child, I experienced it. What do they say? If they see a kitten on the street without mother, somebody is taking care of it, what do they say? Yes? Come on, say.
We need to help it. We need to.
Mom, shall we take this one home and feed? Isn't it right? Isn't it right? It's true. It is no mom. You see, it is instinct. It is creation. So any information, any knowledge we receive through, not through, intuitively is a form of creation. So again, intuitive knowledge is a knowledge in the form of action. But I can speak, I can understand. I would expect from the Creator an extra information from the action in order to answer my existential questions. Extra, not only action, the information obtained through action and information obtained intuitively, obtained intuitively, plus something else I need, extra, that I cannot find within the universe. Intuitive information. Some people say this is the ultimate source of information. Some people call it the sixth sense. Again, sixth sense is a part of creation. Right? For example, dream, a part of creation. Dreaming, a part of creation. That's how this is that. What is left? Getting information through speech. It's open, clear. That's what the Quran says. I am the clear mubin speech from your Creator. Because the best information is transferred to you through speech, explaining everything. And I am able to understand this. So we shouldn't reduce our life, we shouldn't reduce our abilities, given abilities, to be used only within the universe until I die. If someone says, oh, we are able to communicate between ourselves through speech, that's why the ability of speech is given to us. No, when I die, finishes. The ability doesn't bring any benefit to me. And this ability doesn't bring any answer to my questions. But still, about the questions, this ability, if it is used between human beings, so it is a reduction to say that we are able to speak in order to communicate between ourselves. It is a reduction, it is a materialist interpretation of creation. We understand this? Because anything comes to what's the word? Extinction with my death is useless for me in order to get my answers to my existential questions. Being able to speak with people extincts when I die. Finish. But human beings expect what? You emphasize what? Eternal satisfaction, eternal happiness. So we say the purpose of being able to speak and being able to understand the speech cannot be reduced to only human communication. Understood, clear? So what else is left? The Creator must speak to me and give me the answer to my existential question. That's why we human beings are desperately in need of divine speech. How can I receive the divine speech? That is the point that we are trying to understand. We can get the divine speech only through verbal transformation of knowledge. Verbal transformation. That is the point that I want to emphasize. You carry on now. You recover. Okay.
Just another point though. It almost seems like it is through negation, the different ways in which I am, receiving guidance, or the ways that I am learning about myself, like through creation. Okay, the creation tells me something about myself. And then because we were establishing that the source of existence must give me the answer to these questions that he gave me, the answer to the questions that he gave me, in another form that must be accessible, or that must be easily understood in a very clear and simple way by everyone, and that must answer the parts that the creation doesn't necessarily, the creation around me alludes to, but doesn't necessarily clearly state.
Explain.
So it is through negation that we're saying that it must be a written speech.
Not necessarily written speech.
Speech.
It doesn't have to be written. But there are other reasons that the written speech is okay, but normally speech. Yeah, normally speech. So what we can do, we can write down in speech because we are given the ability to write down, to record it. But in fact, the speech must be in the form of verbal explanation. But I can write it down, that's how I am. There's no problem. It doesn't have to be papers coming down. There's a verse in the Quran explaining this. Some people say they want papers, written papers coming down from God to say, oh, look, this is what God said to me. That's what they want. And the Quran says, no, speech is enough. It means verbal revelation. Verbal revelation is needed. Afterwards, human beings are able to write it down. It becomes in the form of a book. Yeah? So the Quran says, this is a book, because the Quran, or God doesn't send a book. The Creator doesn't send a book, paper, piles of papers, sheets of paper. What does he do? He speaks. And human beings are able to write it down. Yeah? For example, you say something, I write down. Well, it doesn't have to be in the form. The revelation doesn't have to be in the form of a written text. Speech is the divine speech, kalam.
In a way, then everything is a verbal speech, because I'm thinking, so what is a verbal speech? So like whatever meaning one extracts from the universe, it's like a communication going on, and then you can express it out in various ways, write it down, say it out. It becomes a verbal speech.
You transfer it. You transfer the message, information, which is sent to you through action, and you transfer it into a verbal speech or written speech. But it is you who's doing it. The agent is you. But in the revelation from God, the agent is the divine one. It means the creator. That is the difference.
And that's done through action.
Yeah, that's why some people say, some philosophers say, that is your interpretation. Because when we ask the questions, for example, you said that through negation, we do most of the reason through negation, because there is an, again, ontological reality. It is a technical word. It means how the things exist. Existential, ontological reality. Which is very simple. We should never forget, and you emphasize on it. The universe is wonderful, speaks to me, but never satisfies my human expectations. Universe in its nature is transient. I want eternal happiness. Through this contradiction, what I do, I use the reasoning based on negation. For example, because of this reality, the order of the universe, the order of the creation is established so wonderful. Everything makes perfect sense. I am created with an expectation of eternal happiness. And the universe is created with the
Not provided.
Oh, no eternal. It's so simple. So I learn to look for the satisfaction of my need, eternal happiness. And the universe says, no, I'm not going to give you the eternal happiness. I can't. You have to look for other sources. This is the, if you like, scenario in the creation, the beautiful scenario. And it makes perfect sense that we have to say, oh, whoever made this universe, come on, don't play with me. Don't joke with me. Yeah, it looks like a joke. And if we are thinking within a closed universe as the materialists do, closed universe means what? Everything exists, consists of this universe only. There is no other existence. So they ask any question to the universe, and universe says, in a sneaky way, I cannot tell you. Yeah. I don't have the answer, but I am forcing it. Means negation. Universe cannot be the source of answer to my questions. La ilaha. Negation. Negate. La ilaha means universe cannot satisfy me. Universe cannot be the source of reality. Universe. So what is the source of reality? That's why those philosophers, this is your subject now, those philosophers claim there's no absolute truth. There's no absolute reality, which is correct. There's no absolute reality within the universe. But I need absolute reality. Negation again. Universe, come on, you cannot tell me what absolute reality is. But I need absolute reality. What should I do? Universe says, search the source of existence of me. Universe is speaking now. Me means universe. And source of existence of your need for absolute reality. Source of existence is the key point. We should never, ever forget. For every stage of thinking, we have to say, what is the source of existence of this? For example, very simple. You saw again, as a little small bird. Yeah? On the street. Something to it. Okay. You liked it. Stop and ask the question. What is the source of existence of this angel? Ask. Stop and ask. Don't say that I like the birds. I love to have a house with a garden in front of it, and the trees, and the flowers, and the birds. Okay. So what? What was the principle? Any understanding, any interpretation which extends with your death is useless as far as human expectations are concerned. Do you understand? You love the birds, you love the garden, you love the house, whatever. When you die, your sense of love extends. Garden is not anymore for you and useless. It means that's not the answer to your human expectations. So this interpretation is wrong, saying that I love beautiful gardens. It's wrong. So ask the source of question now, what is the source of existence of this sense of love? And the answer cannot be found within the universe. But the universe says, there must be, there must be, because the universe points that I'm wonderful, I cannot exist by myself. And there must be something else who gave me existence. Don't look for it, look for it. So the universe forces human capacity to go beyond the limitations of this universe. That's why we need divine guidance. So the reason we gave earlier on, this divine guidance is better to be in the form of speech. Because this is the only venue which is open. The other venues are related to the universe. So intuition, method is not enough, it's established. But some people people say I'm spiritual or something, they say intuition is another source of information. We can follow our intuitive knowledge, and it is a danger that it may also be used in Sufi language. The way it goes on. That's a weak point. Okay, that's another subject. I mean, I'm not blaming Sufi tradition at all, but if someone is satisfied with Sufi tradition only, then he may find out at the end himself in the trouble. When he realizes that intuition is also in the form of creation, then the answer is will be left open. There's no answer, still no answer from the eternal source.
So in other words, you're saying intuition is not divine speech.
No, it's not divine speech. But if someone says, the universe is speaking, but in a negation way. The universe is speaking. How? I am made perfectly. You have to look for my source of existence. It's speaking, yeah? Universe. In this sense, universe speaks, intuition speaks as well, but in this sense only. But as far as my expectations of the answer to my questions are concerned, intuition is a part of dreaming. And it's also, intuitions are open-ended, not definite, and varies person to person. It's your interpretation. Any intuition will be your interpretation. For example, here are some that the people don't see. There are some exhibition here, some pictures here. You look at the picture, anything actually, and okay, something occurs in you, just some information comes to you, yeah? And that's your intuitive interpretation of what you have seen. Your experience is different, completely different from Sarah's. And I don't know your name, but
Leah.
Leah? This is the second time I heard this name. Somebody introduced me 2 days ago when her name was Leah. So Leah. So Leah will interpret another one. There's no definite, if you like, formula. Definite formula. But what we need definite formula, that means we should be sure. Intuition is personal, not universal. Every person's experience of intuition is personal, not universal. Although universally intuition exists, but human experience of intuition is personal. Personal information cannot provide me universally valid answer. Universally valid answer I need to make sure. Universally confirmable. Universally confirmable. It seems to be first, not very usual way of thinking. Second, it's deep. It's not deep, it's very simple. Why it may be difficult to grasp, not for you, but for the general public, because no one dreams the subject. Generally speaking, no one means generally. The subject matter is based on this argumentation. They say, yeah, we believe in Muhammad, that's the prophet. He's a nice guy. What he said is interesting. So it cannot be human production message he brought. So because the message he brought, that's in terms of Muhammad, the Quran, in terms of Moses, the Torah, in terms of Jesus, the New Testament or the Gospels, whatever. So, because they are inimitable, the Quran is inimitable, great. Yeah, those people who study the literature-wise, yes, it's inimitable. No one can say what is said in the Quran. Okay, that's why I believe it's the divine speech. Look at the reasoning is completely different from what we have established here. Do you see the difference? Yes, that's maybe right, but primarily, why do I need device? This approach does not answer this question. Is there any need by speech at all? Why not to follow human feelings instead? And then there is no answer in this approach. That's why it's not very common. People take the shortcut, usually. Shortcut. So we are not used to it. It's not common. It's not in the air. That's why it may seem to be difficult, but the reasoning is not difficult and complicated. Simple. Very simple.
Okay, so we've established that I have human expectations and questions that cannot be met by the universe, that cannot be answered by creation around me. However, the creation does, when I look at the creation, I see wisdom, I see purpose in the way it's created. So there must be a purpose and answer to my questions. And these answers must be given to me by the one who gave me the questions to begin with. And as we've been discussing here now, the way in which I am given these answers must be in the form of a very clear, simple, understandable speech.
Yes, speech. Yeah. Clear speech, I understand. But I may act. You may say, what do you mean? What do you mean? If I say it verbally, you will understand clearly. That's why verbal speech is clear. Okay? I think we understood that, but we can go over the paragraph, inshallah, then we will be done.
You want me to reread it or just continue on?
Again, if I don't like this word, you
Okay.
want me to. What do you feel? What
Okay.
do you need?
Okay, I think,
You are not I am not the commander. Ram, thinking together.
okay, I'm gonna start from the beginning, read the paragraph, and then move on to the second paragraph as well, just so
Yeah.
we can have everything in context. Whoever wishes a lasting success must follow the way established by God and know his way of acting. Otherwise, God's way of acting that manifests itself in nature will respond by causing an attempt to go to waste and condemn those who oppose it to extinction in the deserts of nothingness.
Now, what did you understand from this? Very briefly, what did you understand from this sentence? Whoever wishes a lasting success, what do you mean by lasting success? It means satisfactory answers to his questions. Right? Must follow, or in this world also lasting success means if you want to do something in this world, you have to do according to the way you can.
And if you don't do it in this way,
Okay.
in the way it says established by God,
It means the way established by God means
the way in which
the universe has been created, and also my creation is also established by God. Within my creation, my creation, I can find what? For example, I need water, right? That's my creation. I need answers to my existential. That's another established order, right? And anything, any lasting success must fit. For example, if someone says, look, we are scientists, we don't deal with theology, so we don't ask the question of the source of existence. Is it a success? Is it the correct attitude? Say what?
No, because it it ignores their reality of just focusing on the matter instead of the source of existence of what they're observing.
Reality of human being. Reality that you are created. I'm created with. I'm created with this one. I need an answer to the questions that I ask. That's my ability. So this attitude, outrules materialistic philosophy. From the beginning. They say we are not interested in theology. Theology means talking about the source of existence. But it is with me. How do you say that I'm realistic? You are not realistic. Do you understand the fundamental contradiction in materialistic approach? Or they call it, we are scientists. Yeah? You are scientists, okay, welcome. And we study the universe. Okay, welcome. You study human beings, yes? Very good. And human beings ask the questions which, or the whose answer cannot be found in the universe. Come on, be realistic. Answer these questions, and that's my reality. I need the answer. I need meaning for my existence. I need purpose for my existence. I want to be satisfied with my existence. And I shouldn't solve the problem of death. What is the mystery? And why do we die? Since everything is perfect, why at the end we die? I need answer to this. What's going on in this universe? It is so perfect, but at the center, it is so cruel, the universe. Kills you. Shouldn't be. That's what my feeling. It shouldn't be. I must have I need eternal happiness. Where is it? The universe says no. And the scientists say, no, but we are only studying the universe. Yes, you study the universe, you study human beings, and you find this one in existence. Why don't you study this point? Why don't you take this point into account? Why don't you try to understand this? Because they are wise. They know that as soon as you ask the question, what is going on in the universe? What is the purpose in existence? They have to go into somewhere beyond the bounds of the creation, this universe. And they have to ask for the source. When they ask for the source, they end up with, there must be a creator. This is the way which goes to religion, theology. No, I don't want to. But they should say, look, we limit ourselves with what we see in this world, and we don't have the answer to anything. They should admit that. And I'm sorry, human beings, the science must declare this. I am sorry, I am no good for you. I can provide the cell phone, computer, and all the airplanes and other technology, but I cannot provide anything for your humanity. They should admit that. They should know the answer. What they claim now, this is so obvious contradiction. They claim that science explains, and if not now, in the future, will explain everything with the conditions that they will stay within the creation. We understand the contradiction. Are we clear, all of us? If not, we can repeat, we can talk with another language. It's very important to see that scientism is cheating humanity. Why? By investigating how the things work, they think that we are answering every question that human beings need to hear, or need to get the answer. Not they don't. They avoid, deliberately they avoid it because they don't have the answer, as long as they insist to be a materialist scientist. It means atheism. So anyone who claims that science will answer all the questions is impossible. It's a contradiction. That's what we should understand and be comfortable looking for a divine speech. Again, nature includes what? Human expectations. It must be complete, it must be in conformity. Practically speaking, simply speaking, if you want to satisfy your thirst, you have to drink water, or anything you do. That's the order. Yes, that's correct. If you want to, for example, go somewhere you have faster, you have to use other means. Okay? For example, so it said if you want to make a car, you have to use the order of the universe. This is correct. This is correct. That's the nature. And extended, if you want to get the answer to your existential questions, you have to use the universe, and the universe will say no, and there is no answer here. Look for another source. That is also how they say that we must follow the established established way by God. The text says it was by the creator of the universe. It was whoever gave existence to me. I had to follow this. I had to be fully open to everything in the universe. It means, yes, I have to study the order of the universe, but at the same time, I have to use the universe as a means of negating, because the universe always negates. Universe always says, no, I'm not the answer, I'm not the answer, I'm not the answer. Yes, we can make the computer, but when you die, finish. Computer is no good for it. It's not the answer. You can go from one place to another faster, okay, but when you die, it's no good for you. But human beings want it means the universe says, no, there is nothing like this. We have to understand this one. So, okay.
So, based on this fact, see and consider what subtle, genuine, and sensitive truths and realities there are on which the rules of the Sharia are based, and how impossible it is for human reason to discern these, and how sensitively the Sharia preserves the balance among what exists in the existing laws of creation and the operation of the universe.
I see. Now, we have to talk about Sharia very briefly. I think you all know that, but let us put it in word form. What do you understand from Sharia? Whatever you understand, you don't have
Set
to
of
go
rules.
and search in the Google. Come on, whatever you understand, tell me. What do you understand from Sharia?
An order, a divine order that aligns with the way that I can be fully satisfied in my existence here in this earth, in the scope of whatever I do.
Okay, the order, what is the essence of it? The essence is the most fundamental thing that we expect from Sharia. From this order, divinely revealed to you.
Right.
Okay, this is Sharia. It means divine speech is the source of Sharia. That's what I understood. What are you expecting from it?
A few things I would say, connecting me to my creator,
Yeah, it means bringing meaning,
bringing me
existence, and
meaning,
letting you know
purpose, letting me know,
your source of existence.
right, exactly,
Look,
acquainting me
yeah,
with my source
I
of
think
existence.
rather than using the creator,
Mhm.
we should prefer to use
Source of existence, right.
But this source of existence, as soon as we understand the source of existence, we establish that this is the creator. That second stage. Yeah. Okay, the
Right.
Sharia must
Acquaint
reveal to
me and
What
reveal,
did you say the Sharia?
acquaint me
Yes.
with my source of existence.
Yeah, so you will introduce to it.
Mhm.
Yeah. The Sharia fundamental means introducing you to your source of existence or introducing the source of existence to you. If we talk about Sharia, the primary, the best, the most important thing is knowledge of my source of existence. Explaining the knowledge of my source of existence. And then, is it on me?
And then I would say providing me guidance with a way to understand my existence and act according to that understanding of existence in a way that is satisfying to my human qualities and expectations
In this world.
in this world.
How can I satisfy my human expectations while I am living in this world? For example, I can drink water when I'm thirsty to quench my thirst. Okay, it satisfies the need of my body. But still, what I want, eternal message through drinking water. That's what I am. I say, okay, I will drink water, I will drink water, I will drink water, and I will die. Do you think you drink water in order to die? You stop. You stop. Yeah? You drink water so that I will die. Are you getting with it? Are you able with this idea? So I drink water, and I die. So this really, the universe is a joke, something like that. But if there is no answer from the Creator, it would be a joke.
Torture.
Sort of torture. That's why the universe alone is a prison for human beings. Universe alone is a prison for human beings. If we use our human qualities, we should feel that I want to get to this person. But if there is no hope, it means if you interpret that there is no other type of existence at all, only the universe exists by itself, however eternity. Then you are always in this and hopeless. You have to understand this psychology. Human psych. Unless you find the source of existence and understand through the signs that we see in the creation, not becoming a religious man, no. Study the signs in the creation, they will point you to a certain understanding, type of understanding. You say there must be a source of existence and who is who is the one who creates everything in the most perfect. It means he is not a part of the universe, he is absolute. He must be absolute. Then I belong to absolute. So when you believe in your tongue, your body is satisfied, and your understanding, if you go beyond the limits of the creation, you'll understand that the one who provided the water is introducing himself to you. He says, I love you, I love you, I provide what you need, so I care you. Then you drink water, not because your is satisfied, you start smiling. And in simple explanation, we learn from the creation, from the divine speech. Yeah, God is introducing himself to me. God is letting me know who he is. God is letting me know how he cares me. Why do you not drink your water? That is you. If we drink water only to satisfy our thirst, that's not human. It's horrible. That's horrible. We should utilize everything. That is Sharia. Sharia says we have to drink water. Sharia also explains divine speech. Sharia is divine guidance, divine speech. Sharia also says through drinking water we have to get to know me. You have to get to know your source of existence. You have to get to know the source of existence of the water you are drinking. That is the complete Sharia. And what else? Let's conclude this subject, this paragraph at this today. What else? From you expect from Sharia. What do you understand from Sharia? What does the word Sharia include? It means introduction of your creation, the source of satisfaction, your human satisfaction, and your way of life in this world. How are you going to utilize your senses within this prison of the universe? And how are you going to communicate with the Creator? Yeah. How are you going to obey His order because you are His product? Right? For example, computer doesn't have consciousness. It automatically obeys the order of its engineer. Yeah? Right? But human beings are not like computers. We have free will. So Sharia teaches me how to use my free will in order to obey, to choose to obey the order of the creation. It means my creator. Sharia tells me, because I have a free will. I'm not like computer. I can follow my human nature in the positive way. I can choose to deny my human needs as the materialists do. They say we are not interested in theology. That's against human nature. You follow this. And it's Sharia must be answering, providing the answer to all these human expectations. So Sharia must tell me how should I use my free will in order to comply with the order of the creator of this universe, not to contradict. How should I use my human feelings? How should I really communicate with the universe through using my human feelings? All of them are included in the word of Sharia.
In a way that also doesn't contradict my own human self, my own
And
disposition,
the order
and the
of
order
universe,
in accordance
they
with it.
must be compatible. So the Sharia tells the guides us how to live in this world, although it is transient, although the universe is transient, but you will experience the eternal happiness while you are living in a transit. That is the guidance from Sharia. So I live with that. Perfectly matching the rules of the established order of Islam. This middle around me. Okay. Inshallah, what we can do now. Those people who reduce Sharia to only rituals is a very including but very small way of understanding or narrow way of understanding. Okay, inshallah, we'll stop here. Thank you. Today is September 8th. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله